Hi there, welcome back to Save with Crypto. My name is Save with Crypto. Okay, so this morning I put out a YouTube short and I also alerted my Telegram group here at quite early actually, 17 minutes past 8 this morning, just saying that I'd noticed that a couple of EMAs crossing on an indicator that I'm using, so it was likely that Bitcoin would go up from there, sort of thing. And then, sort of like 15 minutes later, I kind of reported back here, sort of saying that was cool, 38% increase. So my actual entry price for that one was $59,058, which was great. I just want to clear some stuff up though, because I think there's a little bit of misunderstanding about how EMAs work with timeframes and stuff. I mean, it's going to be different on every time frame because here, for example, what we're looking at is these EMAs, right? I keep saying this over and over again, but it's partly so I'll remember it and partly so that maybe you'll remember it as well. And also, if you want to know how to set these up, the video to do that is linked at the end of this video. So we've got this cyan line here, a yellow one there, and a green one there. Now the cyan is a 9 EMA. That's exponential moving average. So that means that it calculates the average over the past 9 time periods of whatever that time period is. So for example, this is the 5-minute time frame. So for each lot of 5 minutes, that is 9 times 5, whatever that is, 45 minutes, isn't it? So that's over the last 45 minutes. And the exponential bit means that it kind of gives more weight to the more recent stuff because it's not a linear adding up. So basically, the further away it is, the less impact it has. The nearer it is, the more impact it has. So that's why I'm using EMAs. Okay, so the 9 EMA is going to be the one that's going to move the quickest because that it's looking back not very far, and the yellow one, the 21, is looking back over 21 periods. So say you're on the daily time frame, you're looking back over the last 3 weeks. The 55 EMA is looking over the last 55 periods. So in that case, if that was on, say, the weekly time frame, you're looking back over the past year, So they are very powerful, but they do behave different on every single time frame. Now, the reason I mentioned the yellow crossing the green is because that seems to be the strongest signal for a kind of trend reversal. Okay, so what you ideally want to see is the yellow crossing the green and then the 3 EMAs becoming nicely spaced out, pretty much like they are here. Now this is only the 5-minute time frame, but the reason I mentioned this morning at 7:55 or whenever it was, 8 o'clock this morning, is because this had crossed bearish here last night at it was actually 6:15 p.m. on Thursday. And the price then was up at $60,467, and obviously it came down a lot since then. So that was, if you'd have kept your eye on that, it's quite predictable. The time it went up before then was back here on Thursday morning at 4:15 when the price was down at 59,064. Okay, so most of the time, this is a pretty good indicator. You can see there are some exceptions, like say here, when it was hard to really tell what it was doing really. But I think, if it's going flat and weird like that, you should probably just ignore it. You're more looking for these kind of things here, And even this one here, that one crossing bullish there on Wednesday the 28th at 8 o'clock in the evening. That finally went bearish here later that day, but meanwhile, the price had gone quite nicely up, so you could have used that signal in a good way. So that's what that's all about. Now, obviously, if you look at this on like a smaller time frame, so say like, I don't know, the 1 minute, then just look at this morning from 8 o'clock. This isn't particularly helpful because you can see it goes like bullish, bearish, bullish, and that's it. Yeah, okay. This is not quite as useful. Okay, so it seems like the 5-minute one is pretty good for these kind of like, daily scalp type things. But if we zoom out further, and the one I like is a 30-minute, because the 30-minute gives you some really good opportunities. So with the 30-minute time frame, it went bullish here on Friday last week and stayed bullish until Monday of this week. And then now we're on a downtrend. And then it turned bullish, and I did mention this on the Telegram group on Thursday, but unfortunately it turned bearish again last night. Okay. So guess what I'm looking for now? Okay, well, I'm looking for the yellow to cross the green there on the 30-minute time frame. And it's possible that might happen because you've got this cyan coming up. Now, what happens there? Because that moves the fastest, that tends to sort of pull the yellow one with it, and then the yellow one pulls the green one with it, if that's the direction it's going in. So if that's going up, that's what we should see. We should see, first of all, the cyan will probably cross the green, and then we'll see the yellow cross the green, which is the really bullish signal. And then you want to see the cyan above that to confirm that everything's okay. Okay. So good. So hopefully that's a bit more clear in everyone's head. Basically, what it is like there's going to be a trend overall. So on the 30-minute time frame, we're still in a downtrend, but on the 5-minute time frame, we're in an uptrend, and this could change in the next hour or so. So this is literally because the price doesn't move in straight lines; it moves in wiggly lines. And even looking at this morning, you can see it's been sort of like, up, down, up, down. So the thing I tend to do is if I'm in front of the charts, I will look at my trade and I will have a stop loss down here, but I'll keep it really close to entry until there's a reasonable kind of profit. And this is a reasonable profit at the moment. This one's 16% up, so about $105, which is okay. And I could push this up a little bit more, but I want this to have plenty of wiggle room to go up and down, so I don't get stopped out. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to have to break it to you that I don't think anyone's actually really invented a time machine yet. And if you buy a crystal ball from AliExpress, chances are it might not work. So how can we predict the future? Well, I think the idea is you kind of want to look at these indicators and use your brain to front run the idea. You see, if we look back here, when this one crossed here, you think, well, okay, well, before that, we did see the cyan cross the green. So the cyan was leading the way, and at that point, the yellow was down there. And sure enough, a few hours later, the yellow did cross the green, which is great. So that happened there. If we'd have looked at that on, say, the next time frame down, say the 15-minute, you're obviously going to see more crosses of the green and yellow, but nevertheless, that one would have happened there at 6:45 yesterday morning, and on the 30-minute time frame, that actually happened at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So that would have been a way to get an idea, but you get the idea that the lower the time frame, or rather the smaller the time frame, the more inaccurate it's going to be. But say for the moment here, if we were to look back here, we think, okay, well, that looks good. That looks like it's going to go the right way. Could that go up further? The thing to do would be drop down to the next time frame. And by the way, you can use any time frame. These are just the presets on TradingView. So let's go for the 15-minute. And indeed, the 15-minute did cross over at 10:45. So it was about half an hour ago. So that, to me, is a pretty good sign that we might see the crossover on the 30-minute fairly soon. So if that happens, then the price should go up even further. So zooming out a bit more, let's go out to the 4-hour time frame. What are we looking at here? Well, I would say at a glance, there looks like there's quite a lot of activity in this area, the kind of 61 grand sort of area. You can always check that by using the VRVP, and you can see here that, there is a bit of a node here at around 60,770. And the way the VRVP tends to work is you tend to move quickly through these low areas of volatility. I think they call them inefficiencies, is it? So the idea is where that is now, that probably will move fairly quickly up to kind of that 60.635, and then it might struggle at around 60.8, but if we can get past that, it will probably go all the way to 64. But that's getting rather ahead of ourselves, isn't it? But that's the kind of thing I'm looking for. And the reason I made this video today is because of a conversation that started with my mate Bob last night and finished this morning. And he was saying, are you still bull-like? Bullish, I reckon. And I said long term, yes. I said I think it's near a local bottom now. I'm trying to make a video to explain this. It's a bit tricky though, and that's because I thought, well, it's tricky because you have to explain all these different time frames, because clearly in the 4-hour time frame we're still bearish, but like overall I'm bullish, and today I'm bullish in the sort of like daily time frame, if you like. Anyway, so Bob said, when you say long term, how long is your long term? And I said, I'm like expecting an all-time high before the end of the year. Short term, I think we could see some lower prices though. I'm no expert though. And by the way, I am no expert. I'm not a financial advisor. Don't take any notice of anything I say. It's just for entertainment only, okay? So he said, I've become a bit jaded. I don't think 100k Bitcoin will happen. After all the big chances it's had, every opportunity has passed. I think it will be in the next cycle. So I said like 2027. I was probably thinking of the next halving, which is actually 2028, isn't it? So anyway, he said this bull run is a non-starter and peaked early, so maybe. Now, the only reason we got an all-time high before the halving is because of the ETF stuff. And really, this bull run's a non-starter. 2 years ago, we were at 15k. And even this time last year, we were at about 27k. So even say like August 2023 to where we are now, we're up 113%. I believe Bitcoin is still the world's best performing asset. So I wouldn't say this bull run's a non-starter at all. I think it's the start of it. And really, to go from where we are today to 100k is 68%. It's quite a long way, but it's very doable. I kind of got into crypto around about 2020, and this was the bull run I experienced when it went from there up to there and literally doubled in price. And back then I was only buying Bitcoin every time it went below $9,000, and we're at 59,000 now. It's still the best asset in my mind. Anyway, so what should you do today? I think what might be worth doing is clicking the link that's above my head right now, and that will take you to the video on how to set up the EMA indicators. And then what I'd do, I'd set it up just like that, go over to the 30-minute time frame on TradingView and keep an eye out for the yellow and green crossing. And I think at that point you're going to see a nice increase. And then my own personal gut feeling is when the summer's over in the next week or two, we'll probably see a little bit of a slump, and then going towards Christmas we'll see complete euphoria. I think we'll see a new all-time high, and I wouldn't be surprised if it does go over 100k. Well, let me know what you think, because I'd be really interested. Do that in the comments down below, and while you're down there, please do make sure you are subscribed and you've got the notifications set on all. Any sort of comment would be lovely. A like would be great. And above all, tell your friends.